I'm Layla Smith. I'm the CEO of Objective Media Group, part of All3 Media. We're comprised of 8 production companies and our offices are based in Waterloo, central London. I've overseen programmes including I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Here's Morgan's Life Stories, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Hell's Kitchen. My most valuable piece of advice would be to be quietly confident, listen to people first and then make your point.
So what is it exactly that Objective Media Group does? I know that it's comprised of 8 production companies, but I just wanted to know if you could explain that for me in a nutshell.
So Objective used to be a production company, Objective Productions, and when I came in about 3 years ago, just under, what we decided to do was make it a group. So Objective doesn't make programmes. The production companies that are here do. Some of them are owned by us and All3, and some we just production partner or we umbrella. What I think we're trying to do here is create an environment where really creative people do their absolute best. And there is, in any industry, there's madness, and I think there's a lot of madness in television, and we're trying to be a bit less mad.
So can you explain to me your involvement in the Gordon Ramsay on Cocaine programme, for example?
So some shows I'm really involved with and I executive produce, and other shows I do less on. So Gordon on Cocaine was something that actually Gordon and I pitched together into ITV. They brought in a really brilliant specialist executive producer because it's a very specialist area of television and a specialist team. And what I do in that environment is they know exactly what they're doing. They don't need me to meet with the executive team and kind of go, are you going to interview this person? But there are really high-level checks you have to have in place when you make shows like that. Every show is different. That one was particularly interesting because of the nature of it.
And was it received how you sort of anticipated it would be?
Yeah, I think what's really interesting about that particular show is it was out on ITV. You know, it's a mainstream broadcaster. It's dealing with a really, high-level, difficult, interesting, provocative subject, and yet I didn't really see criticism of it in the cuts and the press because Gordon did a brilliant job and the show was really well made. But the other thing that happened was my nieces and nephews, who are 17, 18, 19, all saw that show.
It was shocking. I loved it.
The fact that they found it and they couldn't wait to talk to me about it, I just thought was brilliant. I mean, that's exactly what you hope a show like that will do. So, it found like a mainstream audience, but it found the people that we really hoped it would as well.
And so a brief history of your career. So you talk about experience. What is it? 15 years at ITV.
Yes.
But before that, how do you end up at ITV?
So I came out of university, I did the thing that everyone does, you write to everyone trying to get a job. And the first piece of paid work I got, I might not have even left university then, was I was writing verbals for DJs at Radio 1. And I think from that I just thought, I'm definitely in the right area here, carried on writing to people and got work experience at a cable station. Basically, this is the tip for anyone. You go in and you just make yourself completely involved in indispensable, but get into everything that you can get into and be helpful. Because I did 2 weeks and they employed me at the end of the 2 weeks and that was it. I just started.
And what advice would you give to someone who's maybe just come out of uni and wants to start a career in the entertainment industry?
I genuinely would say I don't think it's about having shot your own short film, and I sound really, really grumpy when I say that because that's what a lot of people do, because I think that what people want more than anything is they want someone that's going to jump in and get involved, be indispensable, do everything. That's how you start, and if you know that as the person that's applying for the job, then I think you'll do much better. And it's not about saying you're there just to make tea, it's just about saying that's real life, come and help everybody and then you'll find your path.
So is the way the TV industry operates shifting?
In terms of the streamers or Yes.
So I read 2 things, which is no one's watching TV anymore, it's dead. Or, this is the most exciting time to be part of the TV industry. Yeah. And everyone's adapting because everyone's online now. I mean, what do you feel that stress? Is there a stress around it?
It's not stress, it is just changing. I worked for 15 years at ITV, so I have had the doomsday predictions where, you know, the death of television as we know it is coming, blah, 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 when the advertising downturn was happening. And the simple fact is, normal television isn't dying. It will exist because it will always exist in a form where there's a collective view. But at the same time, you're right, the streamers are here, there will only be more of them. And it means that there's all this opportunity to make different type of programming for them.
What would you say the sort of top 3 qualities are that you have that make you absolutely own your job?
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Just so I can take them.
Blueprint them. Being properly communicative, trying to have proper, honest communication, because it's so difficult. Sometimes people are struggling with their business, sometimes they're struggling with something creatively, sometimes they don't even know they are, but you can see they are. So being able to talk to people and identify and have really honest conversations is a really big thing. Being approachable, because if I sit in my role and people don't feel like they can tell me what's going on, then you're completely shot. And you know, being tough sometimes. Because actually, outwardly facing, sometimes you have to have tough conversations with people too. And you need to have that within you, otherwise you're not going to be able to help everyone else either.
How do you feel, like, what's your opinion on millennials and sort of dabbling in different careers with CVs that have just, you know, explored all different avenues? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
I think it is a good thing. Some of the best people that I worked with when I was at ITV, so one of them was, they were a police officer, and actually they ended up wanting a change of career, and because there was a lot of blue light programming at that time, that's how they found their way into television. They've gone on to be one of the best executive producers in the business. It's like,
that's
you know,
so cool.
The fact that you can bring different things with you to a job is often brilliant. So I think the millennial approach of, saying it's not like I'm going to do this one career, it's like I'm going to do this, but then that might inform that. I think, isn't that the way the world works a bit?
Like, I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great thing, but I hear
apparently not.
What are some of the insecurities you have in your job role?
The thing that I will be careful of, and I check myself about, is, am I adding or am I interfering? It's like it's an old adage in our industry, which is the commissioner that can never turn up to an edit and watch a show and go, yeah, that's great. Well done, thanks for that, bye. They've always got to give a note. Yeah. And I think it's like not being that person as well. That's something that I think I constantly watch for.
Sounds a bit like parenthood. Just knowing when to step back and just...
You're doing all right.
I wanted to ask you about the gender pay gap, but I just want to touch on it, which is that obviously it's been suggested that equal pay for the same work in show business doesn't make any sense.
I tend to think that this is a historical thing we're dealing with rather than a current attitude in the main broadcasters. Because I have never, I promise you, never had a conversation where we have been talking about a woman doing a job front of camera and someone has said, fantastic, let's offer them less because it's so-and-so as opposed to male equivalent. I mean, it's never happened. But what I do think is, historically, there were more men in front of camera, there were more men in positions of authority in front of camera, and so it was the male host with the dolly, and that's what's been changing in recent years, and what we're seeing now is the catch-up.
Is there a lack of women on set? A lack of sound women, a lack of women editors? It is a male-dominant industry, isn't it? But are you saying that slowly you're seeing more women apply for these roles?
Yeah, slowly, I would say, because I think it is interesting that for some reason we just don't see as many women wanting to edit or wanting to be a sound recordist or technician. And why is that? I don't know if that is literally natural aptitude, natural desire, but it's true, and I still think that's the case. So what is it that's not attractive about it then? Because I think there is something about that in that people aren't finding it attractive. So how do we address those jobs being attractive to women is what I would say.
Where do you go for inspiration?
Oh gosh, it sounds terribly trite. It's just life. Like, there's great friends that I have, and then my kids, and then you come to work and then you read something really interesting in a mad article, and then someone says something in passing in a conversation, you think, God, that's true. Everyone is obsessing about that. We should do a show about that. Like, just everywhere.
Do you find it difficult to balance work and your private life?
No.
What is the most important thing that you've learned in life and in your career? And we're going to end on this, so make it deep.
So the most important thing that I have learned over the course of my career is that it is okay to sit in a room and not try and own the room from the minute you walk in because you feel you need to. Because you can be in a lot of rooms where you're running a show or running a team, and you don't need to be the loudest voice or the person that speaks first. You can let other people speak, and as long as you know, if you need to and when you need to, and you often do. I'm not saying you don't speak in that room and make your presence felt, but you don't need to be the person that stamps all over that room.
And life? Or does that apply to life?
I think that applies to life. Like your relationships, how you conduct your relationships. Let people speak and then be part of it, as opposed to sort of saying, I'm owning this. I'm not even sure that I like that
Two
statement.
ears, one mouth. I love that quote.
Yeah.
Deep. We're done.